as you might know, I'm not a massive fan of PRSs. PRS is definitely a divisive brand. But then I thought, well, you know what, it's not really fair to judge just based on one guitar. I thought, you know what, this might be the one. This will do it all. It's a really, really good sounding guitar. This is a guitar I'd happily gig with, if but for one thing. I can't get past it, unfortunately. Hello, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. It's a very hot day. The summer has finally arrived in the England, and all of a sudden it's flipped and it's what we call hot here. A lot of you know. Anyway, it's hot, it's sweaty. I've got a PRS on the bench to review, and quite frankly, I'm finding it difficult to find the enthusiasm for this because it's a PRS. More about this one in a second. But as you might know, I'm not a massive fan of PRSs. A couple of months ago, I reviewed this one, the Dave Grissom signature, the DGT SE, whatever it's called. A fabulously well made, affordable, highly rated guitar. And I wasn't keen. I mean, I accused that of having no mojo. And there was a lot of feedback from you guys, obviously, in the comments. And again, you know, it's a very mixed feedback. PRS is definitely a divisive brand, but those that are, you know, have maybe got PRSs or like PRSs or play them, or just think I'm an idiot, have basically said, well, don't be stupid. Guitars don't have mojo. You know, it's about the player, isn't it? Well, yeah, but that's missing the point, isn't it? Because a guitar invokes mojo, whatever mojo is. But, you know, if your mojo ain't working, you know, forget about it. And that didn't fire me up, that guitar. My mojo wasn't working. I felt that it had, people in the comments described them as having no soul. So, you know, for whatever reason, and I think we all agree that's probably because I'm quite old and I didn't grow up watching people play PRSs. You know, none of my heroes played PRSs. And you might say, well, what about Carlos Santana? Oh, hang on, that's an SG special, isn't it? Yeah, but then he played PRSs. Yeah, but that's just not cool, is it? Look at it. But then I thought, well, you know what? It's not really fair to judge just based on one guitar. I had a lot of feedback from people saying, well, get this one, get that one, get the one that's more shaped like a Telecaster. You'll probably like that, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I listened, and I happened to be window shopping in my local mum and pop guitar store, the Southend Music Exchange, and this was hanging on the wall. A little trade-in, 2005 PRS SE Soapbar II. I thought, you know what, this might be the one. Look, that's my thing, isn't it? You know, it is like a special. It's like Carlos was playing, but it's the PRS shape. So maybe this will change my opinion. So I bought this, £325 as well. I mean, that's a bit of a bargain. This could be one of the best used bargains out there. So I guess it's worth reviewing to find out if that's the case, isn't it? And I can tell there's some redeeming features already. It's got a nice chunky neck, and obviously it's got a wrap over tail bridge and P90 pickup. So what I'm going to do is give it a go. We'll have a review, although it's a used one. We'll have a closer look at it and do the weights and measures, and what I'm hoping to do today is play a lot of Santana inspired riffage and see if I can make it sound. Let's see if I can get my mojo working today, shall I? Yeah. So there you go. Timestamps are down there in the description box if you're in a hurry and you're fed up with me rabbiting away already. Skip forward, see what it sounds like. If you've got a little bit of time on your hands, go and put the kettle on, get some nibbles, some snacks, come back and chill out. And let's have a closer look at this PRS. Let's do it. So this one here, 2005, made in Korea by World Musical Instrument Company Limited. And it's a mahogany body, mahogany neck, apparently, rosewood fingerboard. We'll whip the strings off in a minute and have a closer look at all of that. First, let's weigh it. It's quite light. Well, it's very light, £6 1 ounce. It's 2.75 kilos. Yeah. Take that. So getting stuck straight in, I've got limited specs that I could find on this. So hardware, I guess PRS branded die-cast tuners, and the tail bridge is quite lightweight, and so I'd say aluminium. I don't know if that's a PRS or other brand. There's no markings on it whatsoever, but as you can see, it's kind of a compensated version with string guides to keep everything in place. So that looks cool. What I have found out is 25-inch scale length. That's a PRS thing, isn't it? It's got a 10-inch radius fingerboard, apparently. And as I think I said, a rosewood fingerboard. Take a look at that. This is what's 20 years old nearly, this guitar, isn't it? Or 19 years old. I just thought the frets looking really good condition. So, I mean, I'd guess by looking at the state of it, it hasn't had a lot of use. Unlikely to have had a refret, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's just either they were really tough frets or it hadn't been played a lot. It looks nice and clean anyway. They're quite chunky, medium jumbo, I'd say. And yeah, I mean, it all feels super great. Really nice, and I can't say if it was a good fret job to start with, but it's been played. It's really nice and comfortable now. So good condition for a 19-year-old guitar, isn't it? Yeah. So what? One volume, one tone, three-way switch, a nut. I can't tell you what that's made of. The neck. Now, the neck feels nice and chunky. Let's have a look at the profile and the measurements on the screen now. Right, here's the neck profile and measurements at the first fret. That's got quite a nice appealing V shape to it. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. Nice and chunky. Yeah, there you go. I must say, I mean, I literally bought this without even holding it because I thought, oh, that'll make an interesting follow-up film. £325, bit of a no-brainer. So I bought it, and then when I first picked it up, I thought, oh, that neck feels nice. It does. So I'm looking forward to having a play on this, because I had a little fiddle with it earlier. I had a little fiddle earlier, as you do. But it had lightweight. I think it had 9s on it, and to me, it's all a bit, it's a bit too, so I didn't really get into it. So I'm going to put some 10s on it after I've finished blathering, and looking forward to playing it. I am looking forward to playing this actually today. Yeah, don't get too excited. So that's that, and that's that. Now, I suppose what we have to do now. Yeah, what we have to do now is take some pickup readings. That's what we have to do now. Right. I'm guessing that position is the bridge. We'll try and confirm that later. 9.23K. It's quite, on the high side, isn't it? And the inductance of that, 6.34 Henrys. Let's go over to the neck pup. Yeah, slightly less, 9.15. Was it less? Yeah. My memory's fading. Yeah, that was 9.15, slightly less on the neck, and 6.24 Henrys there. Fiddle reading, just for fun, is 4.64K. That's the pickup readings. Let's have a quick peek under here. So traditional affixation with just the long screws going through, right through the body. That's one of the things I love about used guitars. You never quite know what you're going to find under here. Right here is, as you can see this, it's got the spring and foam adjustment device, if you like to call it that. But it looks like there's a spring missing and someone's put a little bit of pink foam under there to compensate. I'm guessing that wasn't out of the factory like that. So that's fun. Pop that back in there and have a quick look under the other one, just to see if this one's the same. I mean, you never know. It might be a proprietary Paul Reed Smith piece of tone foam. You wouldn't be surprised, would you? There you go. Oh, here's this one. Oh, can't flip it, unfortunately. See if I can show you it. There you go. No tone foam there. Just two springs and a bit of rubber. Hopefully you can see that all right. Quite a lot of fluff. Okay. Screw those back. Here's what it looks like inside the control cavity. Very simple. You can see it's got shielding paint, and the pots are identified very clearly as A, which I guess means audio, 500K. There you go. And it's got, okay, it's got something, it's got a little cap resistor. I think that's is it a cap or a resistor? Sorry, I don't know actually. I was going to say, oh look, it's got a treble bleed on it, but I don't really know enough about this stuff. And I suddenly thought, oh no, treble bleed would mean it's a resistor. So then I said, oh no, it's a resistor. But then I thought, well, it doesn't look like a resistor, does it? It looks like a little Sputnik capacitor. So I don't really know what that is. It's not much help, but you know, you can look it up. Google it. Look at somebody else's review of this. There you go, and that's a capacitor, isn't it? There you go. That's what that looks like. What I'm going to do now is put it back together, put some strings on it, and play it and see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, look, shielding. See you in a minute, Tar. Here we are, new set of Ernie Ballsack regular slinkies, 10 through 46. That's what I always use. I'm a creature of habit. So same rig as always, Princeton 65. Here's a shot of the settings. And on the board, same as I've had for ages now, Soul Food and a Rat. And I'll show you if I use them. The idea is just to really give you an idea of what the guitar sounds like. So I'll muck around with the volume and tone control. There's only one for both pickups, as you can see. I'll just muck around with it a little bit and you should be able to see on that camera there what I'm doing. Let's just have a quick, well, unplugged first. This is what it sounds like. It's got that special spank. You know, special, what I mean is, you know, the wrap over tail bridge guitars, you know, they've got that sort of open sound, haven't they? Sounds nice. So that bodes well. Let's see what it sounds like plugged in. Well, we're starting with the bridge. What's that on 7? It's got it, hasn't it? It's got that. Raw. I had no intention of playing that. It sort of just happened. I was going to try and do something a little bit, well, Santana inspired today. That hasn't happened yet, has it? I don't know if I can even. I get a bit bored of doing stuff like that, to be honest with you. You just kind of go around in a bit of a circle. When there's a firm melody in your head, like that one, it's quite a limited scope with that particular, which was sort of based on Black Magic Woman, obviously. But you've got that tune in your head, haven't you? So you just keep going back to it, and it gets a bit dull, I think. But this guitar sounds good. I've used the drive quite a lot because it gives it a really nice. And obviously I like that. It's got this nice throaty sound to it as well. Middle position's really good. The neck's a bit woolly. Bit dark. Yeah, a bit dark. Let's see if the volume controls work, shall we? Well, I think we know this one works, don't we, the volume? So we've been using it quite a lot. It does, it works great all the way through the range. That's what you want. And this tone, That's not bad. That gives you an idea of what it sounds like, I hope. We managed to coax a few different tones from it. I wasn't very happy with my playing. There's not a lot of playing this week because all the stuff that I'd planned, I wasn't really very happy with it. So it's a bit sparse, and there's some stuff in that was unplanned that I thought, oh, that's all right. I'll leave that in. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute because I kind of think I've worked out why. But this guitar, well, look, it sounds great. It really does. And I'm confident to say that because sometimes I say, oh, I don't know, does it sound great or not? This sounds great. It's really versatile. I think you can get your single coil sounds out of this because obviously P90s are single coils, as you probably know. Well, I hope you know that. But you can get the single coil sounds. It cleans up really nicely. And you can get fat humbucker style tones out of it as well if you turn up the wick. I used quite a lot of the Rat fuzz drive this week, really because I was trying to do a bit of Carlos. I didn't succeed, but I was having a go, and that's kind of his sound, isn't it? You know, smooth drive, and this definitely does that, and it does raunchy, so you could do, you know, raunchy blues, rock. This will do it all. It's a really, really good sounding guitar. I'd confidently say, but for one thing, this is a guitar I'd happily gig with. If but for one thing, I can't get past it. Unfortunately, I don't like the design. I just don't like the look of this shape guitar. I've called them pointy in the past, and people have said, what do you mean pointy? You're an SG lover. SGs are pointy. I'm not talking about the horns. I'm talking about the pointiness on the headstock. This is what I call a pointy guitar. You know, like other pointy guitars, like Ibanez, probably pointy headstocks. You know, the pointy headstock gang, you know, that sort of became prevalent in the 80s, which I think is when PRS started, wasn't it? Mid-80s, 85, I think it was. I might be wrong, but you know, that's all I'm saying. This is not. It's not my jam. It's just the look. It's only the look. The guitar as a musical instrument is fabulous. Actually, the setup it works really well. It's stable tuning wise, and it sounds great. Pickups sound great. This works great. Chunky neck might not be for everyone. I mean, this is a used guitar anyway, so I'm not sure you can go and buy one or anything. I'm not actually. I haven't done my research. I don't know if you can buy a version of this now new, but there's loads of these on the second-hand market, and I reckon this might be one of the best used bargains out there for around about maybe 400 quid. I paid £325 for it, and they're out there. So, you know, if you want to try a PRS, maybe this is the one for you if you can get over the shape. Now, I playing. So let's just circle back to when I reviewed the PRS DGT, the gold top, a few months ago, and I said there was no mojo, and I just didn't get into it. And I've said this also about, not the mojo thing, but I mean, I just used that as an example then. You know, I actually, talking about mojo, What I should have said about the DGT, and probably this one, it didn't fire me up. It's not my thing. It's probably got nothing to do with mojo. People do say they have no soul. Is it the guitar or is it us? I guess it's probably a combination of the two things combined. If you're not really being fired up by a guitar visually, then you're probably not going to give it that much. And my playing this week, I wasn't giving it that much. But I don't think, sorry, I do think that was the guitar's fault, but for a different reason. Because, and here it is, here's what I'm going to say, which it's been an epiphany. I found it uncomfortable to play. And that goes back to last week. I was talking about the Les Paul. I was saying I'm just not comfortable with Les Pauls. You know, ergonomically they're not pleasing. This same. Well, why is that then? And I worked it out. It's because of the cutaway here. So here you go. When I'm sitting in this playing position, this is the playing position. I'm going to just try and demonstrate this. This is my playing position. For the sake of argument, I'm putting my knee out front because that's probably where it is. I'm playing like this, and I've got, you know, all this here. But, you know, look, the 12th fret's here. I'd like to do a lot of playing above the 12th fret, and I'm really restricted in my movement. And if I look at why that is, if I look, I'm just using my fat chin as a marker. I'm looking down right there, 15th fret. There you go. So we've got this. Anything up there, contortions. So these are the PRS, and let's show you this. Actually, there's a little bit more access on this one, or is it just because I've got my leg in a different position? Look, broadly similar. Yeah, leg forward. Look, similar. I've got 12th fret and then fat chin, 15th fret. Okay, so, you know, I think up there is you got to hang on. What about a Telecaster? Now, I've said I enjoy playing Telecasters. I find them easy to play. Wonder why that is. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but straight away, my fat chin's lining up to the 17th fret here, so I've got a little bit more room. I can get to here. Well, I can get past the 12th fret, let's put it that way, without doing contortions. Hang on. My favourite guitar, of course, is the SG, as you might know. Now look at this. My fat chin's lining up with the 19th fret. That's a considerable difference, isn't it? And I've been playing SGs all my life. I got my first SG when I was 19, 18 years old, 17 maybe. And I played it. I only played an SG until I stopped playing, which was, I feel guilty. I stopped playing in my mid-20s. Yeah, stopped playing in my mid-20s. Yeah, mid-20s I stopped playing for ages. And then I started up again some years back, and I started playing SGs again. So really, most of my learning has been done on SGs and playing and practicing. And this is, you know, if I practice at home. I play at home for fun or practice. And if I can, I'll just pick up an SG and play it. If I'm not having to, you know, learn how to play something else. And this is my comfort zone. And I like to think that I play better on SGs, more fluently perhaps. And I know I play more fluently on Telecasters than I do on stuff like this. PRS here, which is, well, I suppose it's not designed for sitting down, is it? Maybe it's designed for standing up. Maybe that's when it really works. But as for a guitar to sit at home, or to play here for you demoing, I'm blaming the guitar. It's, yeah. Anyway, that was a load of old nonsense. But anyway, that is interesting for me because I've worked out why I find Telecasters much more comfortable to play. And we know that I find SGs comfortable to play. So that's that. What else? I don't know, really. I don't think there is anything else. Yeah, I mean, it's a great guitar, personally, and it's just a personal thing. I'm not turned on by the design of this. I didn't grow up seeing my heroes play this shape of guitar, so it's not in my... It's not something that gets my heart going at all. I think, oh, it's a pointy guitar. And I've explained what I mean, so enough of the comments about how SGs are more pointy, because they're not. This is a pointy guitar. It's not really my thing. It sounds great though. If it weren't for the shape, I would absolutely gig with it. And there you go. I'm being honest. I know a lot of you will disagree with me and say, well, it's not about the shape, but it is, isn't it, really? And the playability. There are guitars that I prefer because I don't have to fight them quite so much. And I'm always my preference is going to be guitars that I find comfortable to play and pleasing to look at. And this isn't one of them. So there you go. Come back next week, see what we're up to then. I don't know what it is yet. I'll try and come up with something. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, of course. See you next week. All right, cheers for now. Ta-da.